to Cape Fear Community College's Cooking on the Cape. I'm your host, Jamie Crisp. Today we're going to take a taste of low country cooking by having a classic gumbo. Now, gumbo, as it was originally called, started with the arrival of okra seeds by the African slaves to Louisiana. Now, okra is similar names in African for gumbo. Now, nowadays, you can really add anything you'd like into your gumbo. Since Louisiana is indigenous to seafood, shrimp, oysters, clams, crab meat, pretty much everything was thrown into the pot. Like I said, nowadays, you can throw in anything. Today, we're going to be making a chicken, shrimp, and andouille sausage Cajun gumbo. So first, what we're going to want to do, we'll get our prep work going. Some onion, green pepper, and celery. Now that's basically your holy trinity. Pretty much any type of low country cooking that you're going to find is going to have these three ingredients in it. So we'll do a quick dice on these. Doesn't have to be too big, not too small. You're going to want to do about 1.5 cups of your onion. It really is preference. That's what's great about gumbo. Pretty much anything you like, you throw it in the pot and you are good to go. Now we're going to set this off to the side. Put your onions right in there. We'll leave these for later. Like I said, you know, we're doing a chicken, shrimp, and andouille sausage today. You can find any kind of sausage, duck, after you get your prep done, we're going to start with a roux, which really is just the basis of a good gumbo. A little bit of oil, a little bit of flour. Put these off to the side as well. And we'll go in for some celery. You know, in classic French cuisine, your holy trinity is going to be onion, celery, and carrots. It's just a little bit different. This is what leads to your spicy gumbo. For your green peppers, you don't need quite as much as you do onion, so about 3/4 cup. And for your celery, even less than that, about 1/2 cup. All right. Now, we've got all that, so we'll go ahead and start our roux. We're going to go with about 1.5 cups of olive oil. You don't want to get that too hot. So once your oil hits a certain point, certain temperature, it's going to start to smoke. And once that happens, it's going to start to break down. And it could give your gumbo a little bit of a burnt taste. So you really want to watch that. Shouldn't take too long. You're going to crank your heat up a little bit. Grab your whisk. And we'll go right ahead. Add about 1.5 cups of flour as well. There's basically equal parts. We'll just give it a quick whisk. Now, sometimes people like to go ahead and just brown their flour. And you'll know when it's ready, it'll start to have a really wonderful nutty aroma. Start to turn brown. And this You know, you don't want to rush this process. It's the first building block of your gumbo. So you really want to just let it cook right up. Slow and easy. Can't rush good cooking. And we'll let that go for just a little bit. We'll go ahead and grab our chicken. Set some of these onions off to the side. Our green peppers. Now I've got just boneless, skinless chicken breasts. If you want to take the time to have skin on, cut your chicken up, you go right ahead. I'm not going to do that today. And you just want just cubes. We'll slice right through this. If you like more chicken, you add more chicken. If you like more seafood, you add more seafood. Make sure to keep an eye on your roux. For your shrimp, just to conserve your time, I've already got a peeled, deveined, and tail off. If you want to keep a couple tails on, if you get tail on for a little bit of garnish, it's perfectly fine. And I'm adding about 1.5 pounds of chicken. Roux's looking good there. And the great thing about gumbo is everything doesn't have to be perfect. If you want to roughly chop your chicken, you want to cook your chicken, then shred it and throw it in, and that's all right too. Give your roux a quick little stir. Now what we're going to do after this browns, you get the color you're looking for, we're going to go ahead and throw in our onions, our celery, and our bell pepper. And you're going to want to cook that until your onions are just a little bit translucent. So we'll just kind of set this off too. Make a little bit of space here. A little salt and pepper. We'll go ahead, so we're waiting on our roux still, and we'll cut up our andouille. Now this is my favorite sausage. It really is indigenous to New Orleans. Spicy, smoked. You really can't go wrong with andouille sausage. Oh, these smell wonderful. I like a lot of sausage, so I'm going to add about 1.5 pounds of that as well. As far as your shrimp goes, got a little less than 1 pound. And just leave this here. Roux's starting to bubble. And there's all different kinds of roux. White roux, which obviously is going to be about the first stage you're going to get to. Then you're going to reach a blonde roux. And then, of course, your brown roux comes next. Now, pretty much any type of spices you'd like to add is perfectly fine. I've got a little bit of cayenne, some Texas Pete, because I do like mine spicy, and a bay leaf, a little bit of thyme, Worcestershire, and of course salt and pepper. Now, sure as everyone knows, okra is always going to be in a gumbo. Since that's where the name originated from, you're always going to see that. So we've got a little bit of okra. It is out of season right now, so we're going with some canned okra, which is just as fine too. Welcome back to Cooking on the Cape. Now our roux is just about where we want it. Nice and brown, nice and thick. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add our Holy Trinity. Onions, green peppers, and our celery. You're just going to want to give that a quick stir. And you're not going to let these cook for very long, because once they start to simmer in the pot, they're going to tender up just fine. We're going to crank this heat up just a little bit. Mix these together. We'll leave those set just about 2-3 minutes. Now we're going to go ahead and add our chicken stock and our white wine to our pot. Now when you're cooking with white wine, really, the better wine you have, the better your dish turns out. So pretty much anything you drink yourself, you go right ahead and cook with that. We're going to add a gallon of chicken stock. You can just buy this right in the store. If you have bouillon cubes, you can use those too. And I'm using chicken. If you make your own stock, you can do that too. Fish stock, vegetable stock. Again, what's great about gumbo is it really is all about preference. Make sure you're keeping an eye on your veggies. Now once those onions, green peppers, and celery are tender, we're going to add these right to the pot. And we're going to throw in our andouille sausage and the rest of our seasonings. There we go. And I'm just using a nice Chardonnay. Give our veggies a little stir. We're going to go ahead and add that right to this. There we go. Put that on our flame. Give it a stir. Now this is going to thicken up quite a bit, which is exactly what you want. Nice and hearty gumbo. You can always pair that up with some rice. Here we go. Add our sausage. Another stir. Now for our seasoning. So we've got a little cayenne. And I do like it spicy, so 4 or 5 shakes. Texas Pete. 4, 5, 6 maybe. Gonna drop a bay leaf. Little thyme. You can go ahead and add a little bit of salt and pepper too. Of course, in the end, you're going to want to adjust your seasoning after you've given it a taste. Just drop a little bit in there. Stir that up. It's looking really good. Now for your crushed tomatoes. I've pureed mine just a little bit. Still a few chunks in there. One more stir. Now for the heart of your gumbo, okra of course. Now you're just going to let this come to a boil. After that, you're going to go ahead and just add the rest of your ingredients, your chicken, your shrimp. Just a little bit. Welcome back. So our gumbo is boiled and we've already added our chicken and our shrimp. You're going to let that simmer for about 45 minutes. Going to want to give it just a little stir every now and again. Here we have our finished product. We're going to get some garnishes ready. And I've just chosen just a simple green onion. Just dice these up. That should be enough. We'll go ahead and get this in our bowl. This just looks wonderful. It smells even better. There we go. We'll give it a sprinkle of green onion. Little shrimps. And also, depending on what type of meat you're using, you can always be creative with your garnishes. I've thrown a crab leg in here. Pull that out. Stick that right down in your gumbo. Set your shrimp up. And you're good to go. So let's review. To make your gumbo, you're going to start with your roux, which is your oil. I used olive oil. Your flour. You're going to brown that up to a brown roux. Then you're going to add your diced onions, your diced green pepper, your diced celery. Let your onions become a little translucent. You're going to add that into your chicken stock and your white wine. Again, it's all about preference. You're going to add your andouille sausage. You're going to bring that up to a boil. Add your seasoning, whatever you'd like. Today we did Texas Pete, cayenne, a little bit of thyme, a bay leaf, and some Worcestershire. Then you're going to add in your chicken and your shrimp. Bring that to a boil again, let it simmer for about 45 minutes, and you're all set. Well, that's all the time we have for you today. Join us again next time for more great recipes. I'm Jamie Crisp for Cooking on the Cape.